Welcome back to Andertons TV.
Welcome.
In today's video, we are taking a look at some of the finest boutique pedals from Switzerland. Greuter Audio.
It's early morning.
Good morning!
Here at Andertons.
Right, yes.
Coffee's needed.
We are taking a trip down everybody's favourite neutral country in the world.
Well, makes great watches as well.
The home of banking and...
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Watches.
Oh,
Yeah, you said watches, didn't you?
Yeah, watches, chocolates, and prams.
And what?
Trams.
Oh, trams.
Trams, not prams. Trams.
Well, I thought you
Still
said
got
prams.
Yeah, well,
or tramps.
It's the same thing,
You
isn't
said
it?
both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trams and prams and prams.
Apologies for the pronunciations here. Pete, can you say Sascha Greuter?
Sascha
in a way?
Greuter.
Thank you.
Greuter.
He is a pedal builder in Switzerland with a, I suppose like a lot of pedal builders, you know, a fascination of electronics from an early age. Worked in a guitar store as a tech doing repairs and sales and stuff on pedals. Checked out thousands and thousands of pedals in that time and then thought to himself, you know what?
I can do that. Yeah. And they look super cool.
Yeah, they look cool.
I mean, they look
Now,
amazing. Oh, yeah.
For all you other pedal builders out there, if you want to get away into Andertons Music Company, what you need to do is take one of your pedals, cover it in purple Tolex and send it to Pete. As that's indeed what happened here. And then Pete said to me, do you know what? It sounds pretty good. We should check these out.
Yeah.
So we did. And here we are now.
And the natural selection as well. Like I got that, and that's an amazing pedal. We'll get to that in a minute. But.
So we've got most of the range here today. There's a lot of Fuzz pedals and Overdrive pedals that we're going to whiz through. Timestamps are below if there's a specific one that you want to see.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
All that
and
stuff.
Please hit the notification bell. And if you do want to stick with us to 850, you can win a Victory V4 amp pedal. And if you stick with us to 1 million subscribers, you can win a real Klon.
Now, I think the only pedal that we have got here today that isn't some sort of boost fuzz drive thing is the Univibe. So we'll probably do that one last.
That looks amazing as well.
We're going to start with the Moonlight. This is a modded fuzz face. Classic fuzz, right? Who doesn't like a fuzz face? Controls on here are input gain, fuzz, output, a bias control, and then the little three-way switch in the middle are 3 different bass settings depending on what you want it to sound like. We've got it plugged into 2 amplifiers here that we can switch between, one very clean, one very overdriven. I think a lot of the time you go, why would you want a bass cut on a pedal? It's quite obvious when you go into a slightly more gainy amplifier that too much bass sort of makes it all flub out a little bit.
How's it go?
Flub out. So let's start. I'm not going to start at 12 o'clock because obviously, as with if we had an original fuzz face here, if you start at 12 o'clock, it'll be quite a lot less loud than with the pedal switched off. So I'm going to start with everything kind of, or most of the things, actually almost about 3/4 of the way up, and then we'll have a bit of a play around.
Are we going to just hear here's my clean tone.
Okay.
Are we in the little sister first?
Let's go clean
Let's
first.
go into the V40. Here we go. So that's a nice clean tone on the back pickup there. That sounds good.
It does sound good, right.
That sounds great.
So the idea of the input control here, and you don't often see an input control on fuzz pedals, is if you like the sound of your fuzz pedal with your guitar volume turned down.
If you like and subscribe.
But you're not necessarily, you can't sort of be bothered with the faff of having to sort of turn your, what am I doing here? Like feeding the pony underneath.
Or rocking a baby either.
So you can sort of simulate the idea of your guitar just being turned down to a fuzz pedal with this. Obviously, fuzz and output volumes are pretty straightforward, and then bias again changes the amount of the way the germanium transistors react.
Yeah.
So let's go sort of traditional, maybe a bit more spitty fuzz and see what we get.
Yeah, there's definitely the spit.
I like that because
That's a good idea,
I've
isn't it?
kind of cleaned you up a bit there.
You cleaned me up a bit,
like
yeah.
That bit.
Thank you.
We've got the gainier Friedman little sister in here because I know the fuzz is one of those things. Some people like to hear it over a clean amplifier. Some people will use it into a gainy amplifier. I remember years and years ago interviewing the guy from Blackstone Cherry, Chris Robertson, and he was like, I want fuzz into the most overdriven amplifier that I possibly can, and it all works. It's all a vibe. So let's go over to the Friedman. Give us a chord. Sounds great, and then dump this over. This center control here, I've actually had the bass cut on all the time at the moment. I think if you've got, both these amplifiers are quite naturally bassy. But let's take the bass cut off, which I believe is the left-hand position. Yeah.
Can you read that?
Just, yes.
Oh, wow.
So here's no bass cut into a fairly gainy amplifier. Oof. And then if I start to cut it, I think all the way over that. So in the middle, it's a slightly tighter bass end. If I go to the left, you can hear that. Again, there's no right or wrong here, but it's got a sort of a flubbier, chubbier...
Like. You do, flubbier, chubbier.
Flubbier, chubbier bass end.
That's the typical second album.
What do you want to do, Mr. Pete? Do you want to sort of rattle through these and just
we can do that, yeah. I mean, that sounded really good. How much gain is there in that? Just if you max up... and so the bias will give you gain as well, right?
Let's go.
So let's go into cleans. Let me clean it up on the guitar here. It's got this mid-range hunk to it, doesn't it? I'm just going to go into the other amp. Woof. Nice.
There you go. So if you want your sort of fuzz face on steroids, the Greuter Moonlight could be your thing. Yeah. Let's now try, I'm just reaching out here, the Jumbo Fuzz.
Yeah, Jumbo Fuzz.
Okay.
Let's jumbo it up.
Okay, the Jumbo Fuzz.
Jumbo.
Jumbo. You a fan of that film? Oh, it was Dumbo, wasn't it? Not Jumbo. Anyway, right. Is a distortion fuzz driven by 4 silicon transistors and diodes based on an Italian copy of an early Big Muff called the Bigger Muff.
Bigger Muff!
Anyway, from the 70s, it produces
a big muff from the 70s.
Oh, and that's when they were there. At
That
their
was
biggest,
when the
wasn't
muff
it?
were the biggest. That's when you wanted a muff.
Anyway, what have we got here in terms of control? Saturation, volume, and tone. That's simple enough, right? Shall we just see what it sounds like, Mr. Pete?
Let me play some on the big muff.
Can I hear the clean sound? Starting on the clean end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ahoy! Wow, that's... Wow!
I've got to say...
That's a good sound, isn't it?
I don't know what it is about fuzzes. It's like... honestly and truthfully, this last 3 or 4 years, I've really kind of felt sucked into the fuzz world in a way I never was before. And I love it when you play that chord and the first thing the sound does, it kind of goes, I can't cope, yes I can. And it's like, it's like a fuzz thing, isn't it? It's like overdrive and distortion pedals just don't do that.
Yeah.
And yet fuzz does.
I think it's a silicone. Don't get me, don't hit me in the comments, but I think the silicone kind of does that. I prefer silicone thing, I think.
Do you think it's just, is that what we talk about? The components kind of, they need to get the power, and it's like they just sort of
release it,
and then they go on.
They release.
It's just like a great sound.
It's like it's like you know what it's like,
Keep playing. I mean, I don't know what subtleties there are on here. It doesn't feel like the kind of pedal you'd buy if you wanted subtlety, but maybe it is.
Oh man! There it is.
Yes, there it is.
Man.
Flip flop. It's
I wonder if it's doing the same in that. Let's try it. Here we go, That's awesome, man.
Wow.
Whoa.
I like that a lot.
That's insane.
Anyway, you heard enough of the jumbo fuzz?
Yeah,
okay.
You will leave some for wow.
Let's move
imagination.
on to the next one. Oosh. Okay, right. Starbender. So this is another fuzz. I think it's the last fuzz, right? Of the range here,
I think so.
Okay, so we now have tone, fuzz, output, bias. According to the Greuter website, this now is based on a modded Tone Bender Mark III from 1973.
Okay.
3 germanium transistor fuzz.
So it's a germanium
with a tone control. Blah blah blah. Marketing speak. Russian germanium transistors.
Marketing.
Let's see what it sounds like.
It's a clean tone.
bender's got quite a different tone, hasn't it? It's
yes,
more
on
like
the
a
top end,
synthesizer-y kind of.
Yeah.
I
Sine
wonder
wavy.
I kind of feel like, you know, when you go through the kind of players that were using tone benders, it was a sort of an era of old Marshall Blues breakers and tone benders in the front. So I wonder if it's less about a kind of a fuzz into a clean amp and more about fuzz into an overdriven amp.
Let's go into the drum. So, here's the dirty little sister.
Can you give us some old, I don't know, like Cream licks or something?
No.
Like Sunshine of Your Love or...
Do cocaine.
Yeah, if you want. They'll leave the volume all the way up. I'm going to say they are remarkably quiet. All of these quiet. So far.
That's Swiss. It's like a clock. The mundane watch. Have you seen the watches?
It's just a little bit of Swiss love in here. Hello.
Hey, these are good, aren't they?
That's a very, very cool, sort of almost era-specific vibe from there.
Yeah.
Really like that. So
nice one.
Going well so far. So 3 great fuzzes down.
Yeah.
Now I think we're going to move over to some, you know what? I assume they're drive pedals just from their names.
I think we got the natural selection.
Should you do the natural selection first?
Yeah.
Next?
I think that's the best-selling pedal, but let's see.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most popular ones, so I'll go back to some single coils.
The natural selection.
Yeah.
Mother Nature at its finest.
Yeah. Wow.
The Natural Selection Overdrive is a natural and organic sounding... Where would we be without words like natural and organic? Retains and even amplifies your tone. Marketing.
I like this because it's got treble, middle and bass knobs on it, which you don't see often on Overdrive pedals.
You're absolutely right. So S is for silicon. Oh, I see. So we've got silicon and germanium
Overdrive
diodes in here again.
Cool, isn't it?
So I see. So actually you can get it to go a bit more fuzzy if you want. Let's have a little play with this.
Where are we on now? Silicon or?
We're on silicon. So it's just a nice natural overdrive, isn't it? Yeah.
do some low gain drive on it, just down.
Yep.
That's that bass thing you turn in, right?
I think if you a little bit less gain into the right amplifier that can take it, extra bass really does kind of fatten it up. I think we'll do the reverse if we go into the Friedman. I think we'll take some bass out, but.
Sounding pedal.
I think what I might do now is, I don't know why, we've had this Focus plugged in the whole time and not even used it. I kind of think that into that might be a nice combination, so maybe we'll fiddle around with this as well. Can we just hear this into the front?
Yeah.
Wow, and I take it back about the Friedman seems to be happy with the bass end as well. What a great little kind of boosty, overdrivey.
Yeah, even if you want that little bit, just a slight gain, but with more low end on it, especially when you're playing on your own.
Yeah,
that's when 100%. That low end comes in all the time.
So let's just...
And you can do mid. Sorry, you can probably squeeze the mids up, and then just have it as a solo. So you use it as a solo mid boost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Well,
great pedal.
Well.
So let's just, if I get like a good kind of rock sound out of this, and then we'll see what happens with the Focus over the top.
Let's go the other way.
No, maybe then it's almost like it's too much. Can we try the Les Paul, and we'll just go into the Friedman and we'll just play around with this Focus boost for the minute. Again, boost pedal with dedicated bass and treble. It's so important, I think, to just be able to if you're going to boost your signal, you just want to be able to fine tune those things.
Definitely take some low end out of it is always important, I find, with the boost pedal.
Wow, 20 dB boost.
All right. That sounds great, man. Links below, by the way, for all of this stuff.
Absolutement. Yes, we should say worldwide shipping on all of this stuff. It's amazing, to be honest with you. Again, we do a little video that you'll find in the description of all of our YouTube videos about international shipping. But if it's pedals, like, little small parcels, they can go all around the world for tiny shipping fees. So, don't worry if you live in Australia or somewhere like that and you're thinking, how am I going to get one of these? You can buy it from Andertons. Right, shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay, Bosch.
Oh,
okay.
the guitar as well. There we go.
Wow. Okay. Last two pedals, and then we'll do the Vibe one. So this is the fuller drive, and then the fuller drive with a boost. So from what I can see on the website, essentially the two pedals are identical. This one just has the clean boost circuit built in. There is no mention on their website as to whether or not this has any sort of sense of being their version of the full tone full drive. If it is, it's a great name.
Yeah,
fuller
drive. Just a little bit better.
Well, now Mike's doing. He retired last year, didn't he? And just stopped making pedals. So
didn't he have millions and millions and millions and stuff and millions and millions?
Not poor, is he?
Millions.
So yes, maybe he's. I hope he's enjoying his retirement. Okay, bizarrely, one of the things this says is this. You can also use these pedals with bass guitar as well. Okay. So anyway, it's a FET-driven overdrive to make your amp sound like a cranked vintage British amp. So from very low gain through to cranked overdrive, very natural, touch-sensitive pedal.
That's
marketing.
I love that marketing. We have a t-shirt that says marketing.
So the controls are, what have we got? So TB is a top boost, which lifts the treble a bit like an old AC30.
Tuberculosis.
BC is bass cut. Imagine if we've been getting that wrong all the time. It was actually, 456 BC just means before cut. Bass cut, rather, as opposed to before Christ. Who knows? Here we go. We've got a pre and post switch on the boost pedal as well as to where we want the boost to be.
That's nice.
Well, let's just play with the simple one for the time being.
Okay, me then.
Bass cut is a three-way switch, so there was a little bit like one of the fuzz pedals we tried earlier. So in the middle is the most cut, so I can just show you just very quickly. So we'll leave a bit of bass in.
Yeah.
And the TB one, up is the engaged, down is off. So let's leave that off for the minute.
Okay.
And let's just see, get some...
Classic.
It's got a voxy vibe to it. I don't know if that's psychosomatic because it started talking about, treble boosts and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe there is a bit. Let me do some higher.
I definitely think it's definitely, I'm feeling that sort of Britishness, but more from a Vox camp than a Marshall kind of camp. But, let's try the same thing. So let's get these bassy controls where I want them. So let's try it here, and then we'll see what happens with the boost in it as well.
I think you're right.
Whoa. Okay, so
after it's too loud, right?
You just heard that last bit there was I switched the boost section to be post the gain circuit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And it's obviously that's where you would want it, I think, for a solo boost. But this is quite interesting.
Is it boost work on its own?
That's a good question. Oh, that's
a good sounding good boost.
Good. Yeah.
That's a good. Wow, that's a nice sounding boost. That's nice, isn't it?
It's funny, isn't it, how that type of amplifier just loves...
It loves a boost, just does that.
Can we hear it? Yep, so Friedman...
That's a good sounding pedal as well.
Good pedals there, man. Some good pedals. So,
good.
We've got the Vibe to go.
Yeah. Yes.
I think to keep it sort of in that sort of Hendrixy vibe, if we get their sort of Fuzz face copy, which is the Moonlight, the first one we do, and we'll go into the Fuzz, into the Vibe.
Why don't we do and why don't we put the natural selection and maybe a boost on for the end from all of it? When we put all that on there, and then we can make some crazy sounds at the end of it.
All right.
But make it most about the vibe, right? Okay.
1, 2, 3. Right. Let's just hear the Univibe with no other pedals. So what have we got? Controls. We've got speed, vibe, gain, and intensity.
Vibe.
And then we've got age, which up is mismatched. What does this even mean? Oh, mismatched input impedance, whatever that means. Down is input equals buffer. And up on the mode is vibrato and down is vibe. So, wow, I've never even heard of, what is this aged thing? Age switches between two input sections. Up is darker sounding input with a lower input impedance. Down switches on an additional buffer which has a higher impedance for a brighter and wider sound. Okay.
Sounds good, man.
I was looking for this little nugget of information. So inside there's a real light bulb and the all-important photoresistors for that authentic vintage sound. So yes, this is not a digital emulation of a vibe. This is old school, the real deal.
Wow, it sounds great, man. It's a little bit more, it's older here sounding, isn't it? It's almost like, if you hear that, it's cleaner. And you go back up again.
I prefer it, and downwards is the buffer off. It's got a slightly mellower tone.
Yeah. I prefer that way.
That way, yeah, me too.
So that's the big knob is the speed, right?
Yeah. Shall we try and go back to the late 1960s?
I know it's not exactly how he played it because I'm not Jimi Hendrix, but there's a vibe. It sounds good, man.
I'm just going to slam them all on Mr. Pete. You're going to play out anything you like. Anyway, yes, Greuter pedals.
Yeah, man. They're great, aren't they?
In Switzerland, available from Guildford. And thank you very much. Links are below. And we shall see you in another video soon.